Hey, hey. Okay, anyway, welcome back to another episode of I Pick Passion and Funny. Y'all, it's just me today. It's just me. There is no one else. It's been a while since I have done a solo episode. And if I'm honest, it feels a little bit like I was like, wait, my phone's not on Do Not Disturb, y'all. Hold on. Let me get it together. You can tell I'm all frazzled because it's been a while since I've done a solo episode. It's just me. I don't know how to feel about it. And I don't usually always use this mic, but I'm using this mic today. So I'm hoping that, everything is given. Um, what it needs to give. Okay. I got to get a stand, y'all. That's another thing this is not what this episode is supposed to be about, but I need to get a new setup, y'all. That's something that the soon come. Maybe that was because I pressed it. Maybe I shouldn't have. Welcome back to another episode of I Pick Passion and Funny. You guys, I was having some technical difficulties, so I do apologize. We trying to get this. I'm trying to get this right over here, y'all. I promise you, I'm trying to get it right. Please bear with me. Look, I wait to have a solo episode for your girl for things to just be chaotic. So anyway, I'm glad that it's just me when all this is happening, clearly. But anyway, I may or may not put that first bit. If I don't, welcome back to another episode of I Pick Passion and Funny. It's your girl, Erica Bates. I don't know if I said my name at first, but y'all should know who I am if y'all here. And if you're new here, welcome. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and follow. Leave a review, comment, engage, all the things. It does help the podcast become more discoverable for the people, for the masses. So thank you for being here. This has been a journey. Before I was so rudely interrupted and was, kicked off, I was saying that the goal is to get a new setup. Like, as far as, I don't typically use this mic. I don't have my background today. It's just me, raw. Okay. So, but the goal eventually, you guys, is to get an actual setup, like a, real podcast setup situation, get the stand and all the things, that the podcast that y'all be seeing, some of our favorite podcasts, how they be doing their stuff. I want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be like that too. So anyway, so y'all keep a lookout. Stick with your girl, because I promise things are coming. But for now, this is what y'all got: me and my couch. Okay. So, and this mic. All right. So anyway, hope everyone is well. You guys, let me tell y'all. So, a lot is happening. It's been a while since I've done a solo episode. So I figured it was the perfect time. And actually, without even thinking and planning this, it just so happened to be this time. And if I'm honest, I believe it's the perfect time to do a solo episode, because so much and not a lot at the same time has taken place since the last solo episode, which I don't know when that was, because I've had guests for quite some time, which I hope you guys have listened and tuned in and watched all of my guests, because they've all been magnificent. I've enjoyed, and there's still more to come. So, like, don't think this is it. Okay. No, I just wanted to do a solo episode because it's been some time and I need to, and it's the perfect timing to do it. Again, anyway, I feel like I'm going around in circles and I'm not getting to the point. Okay. The point is, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be before you. I hope that you are happy to see me too. Just me, and not a guest, but just me. So anyway, y'all, YouTube, 100 subscribers. Crazy. And that's why I said I think that this is the perfect time, or was the perfect time, to do a solo episode, because I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here, for investing in your girl. And when I say investing, not monetarily investing, but for investing your subscription into me. Thank you so much for choosing, because you could be anywhere else and you didn't have to hit that subscribe button, but you did. So y'all, thank you. And I don't take that lightly. I really, really, really want y'all to know that I really, 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 really thank you. Yeah, 100, actually 101 to be exact subscribers. And wow, like, it's been a journey and we still have so far to go. So share with your friends and your people, your family. Tell them, come on over here. It's a good time on I Pick Passion channel. I Pick Passion and Funny Pod. Yeah, y'all. We have so much. I'm one of those people that I'm constantly, like, thinking of, like, what's next, right? Like, and I don't always stop to enjoy the journey, or just stop and, like, Like, this is a moment, right? Like, I have to say, 100 subscribers, I don't take that. That's not light. Like, a lot of people, I started with 0, y'all. In October 8th, if I'm not mistaken, that was my very first upload, my very first episode. I think it was October 8th or 9th. I should probably know that, but I know it was October 2024. Amen. That was my very first upload. Very first episode was released of the podcast. I had no idea where this podcast journey was going to take me. I've come so far through a rebrand, like, just because. And I have to say, the podcast and the brand is still growing. Every day, I'm like, right? Like, this is not a closed-ended, like, this is it. Like, no, this is a evolution. Like, I'm growing, the brand is growing, the podcast is growing. I just hope that you guys stick it out with me, because I'm so excited about everything that I want to do. And so 101 subscribers definitely exceeded what I didn't know when I would hit 100. And, to other people, that might be so small, right? Some people like, okay, 100. I mean, to the people that have 1 million, like 100,000. To those people, they're like 100. Even the people that have 1,000, they're like 100, girl. That's what we focusing on. Yes, we are. We are celebrating my 100 subscribers, okay? Because I know the work, and the pivots and all the things, the pivotal moments, all the things that took place along the way to now get me here. And so, no, I'm thankful for those 100 subscribers. So I just want to take a minute and say that, because I did not want to, like, that for me was probably the most important. That was probably the most important thing that I wanted to make sure that I touched on. I didn't want to miss that, right? Like, that was why I said that this is a perfect moment, because I was like, wait, I just hit 101 to be exact subscribers. So this is the perfect time to do a solo episode. I feel like it's needed, it's important, and it's the perfect time to recognize each and every one of you, how far we've come, because this is a community that I am putting together. This is not a me thing. This is a us thing. So we did this. And I thank each and every one of you, my guests, my subscribers, my followers on Instagram, because I mainly focus on Instagram and YouTube is what I'm trying to build. So those are the two platforms that I typically will post. So I say all that to say, thank you for being a part of this community. We are our community. I don't have a name for you guys yet. Like, people have a name for their people. If you have hey, look, that's something you guys can do. Leave in the comments, either on whatever platform that you are tuning in. Leave in the comments and let your girl know, like, hey, what's a name that you guys would want? What's a name that's perfect for you guys? Let me know. Like, I would love to know, what is a good name for you all? I don't know. I've played with some ideas in the past, but literally I have no idea. So please let me know what's a good name that I can call my people. Okay, we're reconnecting again. You guys, I really hope that I can get through this. I pray I can get through this. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why it's happening, but I pray that I can get through this. Okay. So anyway, and I'm probably not going to cut that out, because this is the real. See, that's the stuff that I was talking about when I know what it's taken to get here. It's moments like that. It's the little things sometimes to just be like, and you have to figure it out, pivot, when it comes to podcasting or content creating, all of the things. Let me tell you, it's the hiccups, the little things, the little bumps that you hit. You be like, them bumps be like, okay, now I got to pivot. Oh, I got to figure this out. Oh, is it going to work? Oh, did I press the record button? All the things. It's those moments that, let me tell y'all, you got to laugh at. You really have to laugh. That's the stuff that you got to laugh at, because it be real. It be real in these streets. I just wanted y'all to know that. Okay. Anyway, I was saying something. Oh, let me know tell me a name. Give me a name. Help me out with what you guys would love to be called, or something that you feel like would be dope for my people. So, for my community. So anyway, thank y'all for being here. That's the moral of that story. Yeah, I had no idea. I'm still figuring out my way, through this journey. And I had no idea I would be at this point or when I would be here. But I'm so happy to be here. Starting in October, and here we are in May now, and we're growing. We're still growing. So y'all, I'm so happy. Anyway, okay. So a lot has gone on. So y'all, I touched on it, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to it, because I feel like I need to get to it. And it'll all, tie in, and you'll kind of understand why this episode is like, wow, why it's the perfect time to do this episode. So literally last No, wait a minute, last week. I'm going to touch something last week. I want to get to last week. But April 30th, which I touched, like, again, I did touch on this. If you listen to BT's or watch BT's episode, BT Kingsley, that was one of the most amazing episodes that I've done, period. BT is a special individual, very special. And I'm not saying that to be funny. He really is just a very special individual. Like, just a bit about BT. We talked, we had the interview. And when I tell you, first of all, if you did not check that episode out, he dropped gems. Okay, gems after gems. We shared his story. We talked about his story, but the episode was just, to be honest, y'all, I can't say enough. I don't even know words to say about that episode because, like I said, gems were dropped. It was funny. We took so many turns, which typically that's not abnormal. If you are a listener of this podcast, then you know that is not far-fetched that my episodes will take turns, because often that is just the way that it goes over here. We talk about we here, and then we end up all the way over there, and we be like, how we got there? How did we get there? And then we somehow end up back. We might pivot off again, but then we end right back. Like, that is just veer off. I said pivot off. But anyway, we might veer off again and we come right back. The point is, that's just how I be over here. But that episode was amazing. T was so fun to talk to. And not only was he amazing on the record, off the record, like, he and I, he was willing to stick around after and just kind of like just shed just information. Like, he was just willing to give information and pour into me in a way that I was not expecting. We stayed on after the interview. We stayed on for probably about an extra hour or so, just talking, about the business and talking about my leap, which we're going to get into. That's what I'm getting to at this point. Like, it was just the perfect person for me. He was the perfect person for me to actually, like, to drop. God has his timing, right? And I didn't know that BT, it's funny because, like he said during the interview, he's like, I feel like we're having this conversation, like, for a reason at this time, for a reason. I must say, he was right. We were having that conversation. It was needed, like, for y'all, for me, maybe even for him. But the things that were shared during that episode were amazing. But then I felt so compelled to just get it off of my chest, and I discussed my leap, quote unquote leap, y'all, the leap that I've decided to embark on. And so after we wrapped, we stayed on, like I said, after we stopped pressing record, we just talked, about my plans. And he gave me, because of course BT's been in this business for a while, he's done and seen a lot of things. So he shared with me, and he opened up and kind of like was like, hey, I'm, if you need what's up, like, very willing to help. And that's why I said that he's such a special person, because not everybody, people be gatekeeping, y'all, and everybody's not willing to share and be there as a resource to help people, to help our people, to help each other. And so I just want to say I greatly appreciate BT for being him, because he's an amazing person, like, really amazing, y'all. So please check my boy out, BT Kingsley. Yeah, but anyway, moral of the story, the part that I want you to hear right now is the leap, y'all. Your girl took the leap. And I never thought in my years that I would actually say that I believe I've taken a leap of faith, right? I used to hear this thing called leap of faith, right? We've all heard it. Leap of faith, leap of faith, leap of faith. Okay, well, what does that really mean? Am I really out here about to take a leap of faith? I was like, let me make sure this thing is still on. It is on, I hope. I pray it's on. But if it's not, y'all, because the light lights up when it's on, and it also lights up when it's off, but that's besides the point. Don't worry about it. Okay. Focus, Erica. Y'all can still hear me regardless, I know. So we just gonna focus on that part right now, because I don't know if I hit it. I might have hit it at some point and it might not be on anymore. The point is, y'all, see what I'm talking about? I never thought that I would be taking a leap of faith. I never even thought that this would be my life at this moment. But it is. It is, y'all. And this leap came unexpectedly. I didn't plan this. But I feel like this is what God has given me this time for a reason. And now I'm like, okay, God, I am scared, but I'm not worried about where this path leads. Like, I don't know. And I'm still praying and figuring it out every day. I don't know where I'm headed, but I'm here. Okay. Now, I'm going to give y'all a little backstory without giving too much information because I don't, just because of it's not because of what I did and just for the protection of that and in the just keeping the conflict of interest, just keeping things separate. Okay. Not really a conflict of interest because there is no conflict of interest. Don't worry about it. The point is, I would like to protect that and keeping those things separate. I'll try to keep my job. I try to keep those things very separate. So I'm not giving too much information, but I will give a little bit of backstory. Okay. Because technically I'm still employed until September until a couple of months. I'm still technically employed. But I did not leave on a negative note. I didn't leave because I didn't want to be there. Like I said, honestly, I didn't know that I would even be leaving. If you asked me a month, well, it might be almost a month now, but if you asked me, it probably was a month ago when I decided that this was what I was going to do. So if you asked me a month and a half ago, I would have said, huh? If you asked me a month and a half ago if I would be resigning from my good government job, I would have said, huh? You great? No, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't have no plans to do that. Not to say that I plan to be there or to retire. Not to say that I had always planned to be there, because I would probably be lying if I said that I wanted to retire. I never really saw myself retiring from a day job, right? I never saw like a 9 to 5. I never saw myself that for me, right? It's a means to an end. However, and it was my bread and butter, right? Amen. Until this or my own, the path that I want to be on, that much like what I'm passionate about, which is so many things in the media and entertainment and film and TV and this whole, like, it's so many in the entertainment realm. There's so many things that I'm passionate about. I would say, until that took off, or I felt like, hey, I'm making a living, like a real living consistently for a period of time, then I would say, okay. Because originally when I got that job, I was there for 5 years. I told myself, I was like, this is going to be my last job. Right? It's a career, but my last job job, because to me, it's considered a job. It is a career. You can grow. There's so many opportunities. There's so many different opportunities within the good government, right? The stability, all the things, job security, all the things, good benefits, all the things that, we all hear about, right? The pay is the pay pays. Hey, man, sometimes do I feel like it can pay more? Okay. Well, we all have those, we're like, hey, we overwork still. And it's like, hey, but it took care of me and my lifestyle. So I'm blessed and I'm thankful, right? The point is that a month ago, I kind of knew, which is so funny. That's how I knew it was God, because a friend of mine, well, I've been having some, probably since last year, honestly. I started to November maybe, really became really hard with my job. Like, I was very far removed, like just going through, there's no need to get into all the details, but just things were coming up on my job that started to make my job harder than it needed to be. Just a lot of stuff, right? And then in January, of course, we all know, with our new administration, all of that just added to the load, right? So I'm like, my goodness. Okay. So I'm like, oh my goodness, way to make my job harder than what it needs to be. So things began to be very hard for you girls. Just over it. Okay. It keeps saying reconnecting, you guys. And I'm just praying that it does not. I don't know why I'm having this problem today. I never have this issue, but okay. We persevere. So just making my job harder than what it needs to be. There is I will say, to do what I do, there are, or did, about to be did. But it is did now, because I don't do it anymore, even though I'm technically I'm still employed. The point is, there are some stipulations or things that within the last probably I don't know when it started, but maybe within the last few, no, it's been more than a few because I've been there for 5 years. So probably within a couple of years or so after I came on board, after I onboarded, there were new things that came up that they required those that did what I did or do what I do to, they required you to have. Okay. And it made your, again, something that makes your job harder than what it needs to be. And it's not that easy and it's not that accessible. So I'm saying things without trying to give too much. Oh my God, this is so hard because I don't really want to, it's not my place. I don't feel like to discuss and I don't want to badmouth anyone. I definitely don't, want to badmouth because I would like to, I could always, God forbid, if I have to go back, I don't like to go backwards. I'm not thinking about it, but I don't want to, I don't want to do that on my public platform to talk about as if I'm bad mouthing what I do or any names or any particulars. I don't want to mention any particulars or specifics, but if I have to go back, I can do that. I want to keep that clean. Okay. So the point is not that I have plans to go back. Amen. But just the way that so the point is, there are some measures in place that they require of, I'll say, us. And again, it's not that easy. It's easier said than done. Okay. They only give you only had a few attempts to get it. And if you don't get it, then you are okay. So I was already embarking on my last chance. Okay. Which this did not say that I don't know how to do my job. It didn't say that I am not capable of doing it. I had already proven that I have done it. I've proven it for 5 years. And this is not to anybody. Again, I didn't leave with, I'm not mad. And I was never, this is not to anyone that I ever worked for. This is not to anyone specific. This is beyond or above the level that, could even, this is nothing that's in anyone's control that I reported to. Right. So the point is, it made matters to the point where I was like, hey, you do this, you get this, or you are out. And again, easier said than done. Okay, for a lot of people, not just myself. So I was up against, about a month ago now, I kind of came up against, well, hey, I remember having a conversation, trying to prepare for this last chance and feeling like I just don't, I don't know. I don't feel like I trust this, right? I don't feel like I can completely trust even this chance. Like I don't feel like this is, I just don't know if I can trust it. Like even this, no matter what I do, I don't feel like I know that this is going to be I don't know if it's going to be in my favor. I just don't know. And I don't know if I want to roll the dice on that because then it came down to, well, if I don't, regardless if I don't, I am up against, and I'm blinking my eyes so that you hopefully, if you're watching a list, well, if you're watching, you'll see me. If you're not watching and you're listening, it could have ended badly, regardless of if I did not do it, or if I either did obtain this or if I didn't obtain it. If I did obtain it, great. But if I did not obtain it, then I'm out of luck, right? And at this point with our new administration, it made a lot of things harder as far as, options. It limited to no options. Okay. So my back is really up against the wall. Really up against the wall. And I'm like, I don't know what else to do. And I remember about a month ago having a breakdown because, of course, I told you for months, I've been going through it mentally for a while, right? Just feeling just the job, the stress and anxiety. And so, yeah, just tired. Okay. And so I threw my hands up. Okay, I surrender, Lord. I surrender. And literally, I had a breakdown to one of my friends, one of my very close friends at work. I had a breakdown talking to her about a month ago. Just like, I'm so tired. And I remember my exact words and my exact prayer was, I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to stop. And I'm saying this as I'm crying. I'm emotional. She's like just being there as a friend, listening and, giving me my space, but comforting me because she knows we all, understand and know the weight, right? The weight. And so as I'm having this breakdown, literally, one of my other friends comes over at the exact same time. The comic relief that I needed in this moment. She came over right in time, which I knew she would, and she would deliver because she always does when I need it, right? And she came over and just as, and she knew something was up, right? But she didn't want to pry. So I'm like, girl, and I ended up telling her, I was like, look, I'm over it. I said, I just had a meltdown, and she's like, girl, if you don't press that button. And I'm like, press that button? What button? I'm like, huh? Is this even real? Is this legit? And I knew what she was talking about because I had seen communications about it. But I was like, girl, what are you press that button? Why would I? What? Press the button? Is it real? I mean, is this legit? Like, should I trust pressing this button? She's like, yeah, it's the kinks have been worked out. Okay, I'll say that. I was like, oh. So I decided the next day after I had a meeting with my supervisor. I had a meeting with her. After that meeting, I had already decided that day before. She didn't know it, but she knew something was different. Right. After I had that meeting with her, I had already decided what I was going to do because my back was up against the wall. Their hands are tied. Well, hey, my hands are tied too. And God already knew. He knew what I didn't know. Right. And so God already had the plan. When he sent my friend over, he sent her over as a messenger. I said, what did I say? Y'all remember? I said, I just wanted to stop. So he knew what I needed and he gave me the answer for it to stop. And I feel like God would not bring me this far, for nothing, right? And bring me to this point for nothing. Like, this is what he had and this is what he wanted for me to do. And so when I tell y'all the day after that, like, I was walking around, like, everybody could see and everybody could tell that, look, your girl was floating on air. When I tell y'all I was walking, I was literally gliding. Like, I wasn't walking across the floor. Your girl was on cloud 9 because I knew what I knew. And I was like, when God speaks to you, let me tell you, and I answered, I picked up and he called, I said, God, what we doing? I was ready. Okay. And so the point is, I don't know why I keep saying reconnecting, y'all. I'm praying it just lets me get through this. I don't know what's happening and why this is happening, but this is driving me bonkers today. This reconnecting is driving me bonkers. And I'm leaving this in here because I just want y'all to see. And I'm afraid to say anything vital at this moment because I don't know if it's back. Okay. We back. It don't say reconnected on the screen no more. I'm like afraid to say anything that's vital because I don't want it to not pick it up. And it probably is picking it up. But the point is, anyway, okay. So the point is, yeah, I was like, I answered. And I'm thankful that I did. I was so happy. It was a weight off of me, y'all. That weight that I was talking about, that weight was lifted. And everybody could see it. Everybody knew Erica is lighter on her feet. And I was so happy that I decided to do this unapologetically. Like the last 2 weeks, I did nothing. I attempted. And then that was kicked back. And I said, well, guess that's somebody else's problem. Okay. Because it is what it is. And I'm so sorry to have that attitude, but I'm not at the same time because we all understand and we all know what I'm talking about. Well, those that understand know. Those that understand know exactly what I'm talking about. So, and I don't mean that to be mean or, to sound like, well, hey, that's somebody else's problem. I don't mean it to be mean, but I was not going through anything extra, at the end. I just was not. I was not going through anything extra. That is and that's the moral of that story. And so I said, hey, and again, this is nothing to anybody I worked with. I absolutely love all of the people that I work with. I made so many connections. When I say all, I love them all. I really do. I care about everybody. There's some more than others that I connected with and some more than others that I care about more than others. Obviously, I'm not going to say there's sprinkle that I could do without, but not them on a personal level, but more on the work level I could do without, because I don't have anything against anyone personally, but there's some of the work part of it I could do without, but I care about everyone. that I worked with, and I didn't leave. That's not why I left. It was never about anyone else. So it was about the job and God's timing and just what it is. And so here I am sitting before you, technically unemployed, but employed, because I am still employed until September. But I am out here free, y'all. And I was just thinking about it earlier because I'm going to get to what happened last week. But the point is, I finished, my last day was April 30th. Let me go back. April 30th was my very last day. We had a walk that day, did a 5K. I did that with my people. I had everybody come out. I was like, hey, y'all got to walk with me. It's my last walk. It's my last walk. I do this every year. And so this was my very last one. And I thought it was perfect the way the timing just fell in place with everything. And it was amazing. And so I say all that to say thank you to each and every one of you again who have been with me through these 5 years and have made an impact in my career. And so thank you. And, here I am as saying, hey, sometimes the leap doesn't come the way that you expected or when you expect it, because I didn't expect this leap now, right? But God knew. And so, I was sitting today. Today I went and did something for the first time that I've never done, which some of y'all gonna be like, what? Something I've never done was sit inside of a restaurant, just me by myself. Today I did that. Never have I ever done that before. Just me in a restaurant. Never have I ever done that. Usually when I go get takeout, I usually go to a restaurant, I grab takeout and I go home or whatever and eat, or go wherever I'm going and eat. But I never sit inside intentional in a restaurant. Today I went to get my physical this morning, so I fasted for blood work because I usually do that once a year. Cholesterol, all the things. Get all your stuff checked, y'all. Get your checkups. Okay. Anyway, I did that this morning. It took a little longer than anticipated because the labs ran over. Well, we're backed up. The lab was backed up. And so with the labs being backed up, I was starving. By the time I left, when I tell y'all I was starving, So I literally said, I already knew what I was going to do. I said, whenever I'm done with my labs, I said, I'm going to go get me something to eat, and I'm going to just sit down and enjoy myself. I'm going to get me some food, and I'm going to do just that. I'm going inside. I'm going to sit inside. And I'm going to enjoy myself. And so I did that. I intentionally sat inside of the restaurant and I enjoyed myself. And it was nice, y'all. I had never done that. It was like about 12-ish, somewhere around that, and like noon time. Might have been before or after, but the point is, it was around that time. The point is, it was about that time. I just sat in there and literally got me some food. And when I tell y'all, it was so good. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw or may have seen, I posted in my story a picture of the food, and then I posted a picture when the food was gone. Okay. Because I was hungry and I ate every bit of what I got. But when I tell y'all, it was something I never experienced, just sitting inside of a restaurant, just me, and just taking it all in. And I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, if freedom paid the bills, like, let me tell y'all, and I'm sure we all can relate and understand, like, the freedom, when you just have freedom, right, to make your own schedule, when you have freedom to just sit inside of a restaurant, just make, just the freedom of not having to be somewhere, like the freedom of not having to report, I'll say, because there was no clock in, but the freedom of not having to report somewhere or report to someone, or just the freedom of being able to go and have lunch, sit inside of a restaurant peacefully. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I was like, this. And the funny thing, I feel, a lot of people say, well, Erica, are you like nervous about what's to come? To be truthful, no, I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous at all. I'm scared because I don't know where the path leads, but I'm not worried. Like, I know God got me. Like, I know wherever I end up, whether it is Los Angeles, regardless of what I choose to do, where I choose to go. Because honestly, y'all, Los Angeles has always been on the radar for me. I'm like, well, is this the time to do it? Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? But I know that right now, I believe, if not, no later than June 1, I need to start not figuring it out. I'm figuring it out now, but I need to start actively putting in some applications. But I feel like this is the time and this is the moment that I can be a little bit picky. I have time to not have to take something, because in the past, we've all had those moments where we have to take something. We have to do something. We have to, right? We have to take that job because I feel like right now I have room and time to be a little bit choosy, right? And I want to take advantage of that. So whether I find that remote job, whether I find that opportunity doing what it is that I want to do, are more in line with which I feel like this is the time for me to do that. Like, I feel like, how dare I just go back to a I feel like, I feel like God would be so mad at me. Not mad, because God forgives. God loves me, right? But I feel like that would be, but there's a part of me that feels like, there's a part of me that feels like if I don't do the thing, right, I feel like I'm doing, like, I'm not, I feel like, what was this really for? Like, God would be like, well, I gave you the out. I gave you the time. I gave you the opportunity to find that thing, but it needs to pay it has to pay what I needed to pay. Okay. So I have time to be picky right now. I am trying to take advantage and figuring it out and praying actively, like, what am I supposed to be doing, God? So anyway, so the point is, yeah, y'all, like, I'm out here doing it. I left my job. I'm resigning officially in September, but I've left my job and left on a good note. The thing about it, your girl is out here doing it. Okay. And I left my good government job. I left my government job. I gotta say it like that. A couple weeks ago. You guys, I'm gonna wrap this up, but I want to say a couple more things, but it continues to keep reconnecting more now. So I gotta figure out what's going on with this. I hope that you all can still hear me. I hope that it's still showing me right now. But I wanted to get to the luncheon that took place last week, but this episode has gone on a little too long with this reconnection issue. So I do apologize, but this is the real, y'all. So I'm showing it to you and I'm giving it to you. Just showing, I want to say a couple more things, but it keeps reconnecting more now. And I don't know what's happening or if it's going to kick me off again, as it just did. It did for the second time. So this is the third time that I'm attempting to do this. It went on, but it kept reconnecting and it started doing it more, and I don't know why it's doing it like this. So anyway, the point is, I got to figure out what's going on, and so I'm trying to say things, but it keeps doing this. But I wanted to get to my luncheon because that was the last thing that I wanted to make sure in this episode that I did talk about. I wanted to update you guys on what's been going on, the leap, and that I'm figuring this thing out. And at almost 37 years old, I've decided to just blow up my whole career, or my whole plan for God's plan, and figuring that out. That's the point. But I had a luncheon last week because I was saying I left on a good note. So I didn't leave negatively. I left on a good note, and that's why strategically I left and put the way that I did, because I knew that this was the best way to do it if I was gonna do it. And y'all, my people, they showed up for me last week. I had my very first luncheon. I will say my very first luncheon. And I was thinking, I said, I really think that this might be the very first event that was coordinated just for me. No one else involved, just for me. Like, I think this might have been the very first event. And I was thinking, I'm like, is it? But I really think it might be the very first event I've ever had that's just been for me. And so I'm super excited about that. And I'm like, that actually made me feel like it made it even more special. And you guys, it keeps reconnecting. So what I'm going to do, I will talk about the luncheon, hopefully on the episode next week. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm so sorry. So sorry. But this is the real. So I'm going to have to group all of these three, or maybe the two, together. And of course, I'll do that so that you guys can at least get this closing, get this ending. I did not plan for this reconnection issue. I'm so sorry, you guys, but I think it's going to end up kicking me off again. So I don't want to get into the luncheon, but I do want to talk about the luncheon because that was very special. And I want to talk about the significance of that. but I can't talk about it, so we'll have to save that for next week. I'm going to do another solo, maybe Q&A next week, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. And then I'll talk about the luncheon at the beginning of that. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you for tuning in to I Pick Passion and Funny, and I hope that this, because it has reconnecting on the screen, but I hope that you guys can see and hear me. So thank you for being here. I hope that you continue to be here through all my crazy chaoticness. Until next week, y'all. Have a great week.